everybody. Welcome to the Shelley Novak Show, aka Dinner for Five, here at the Midtown Miami Magazine pop-up art gallery. I need to remember that. So many words, but it's just the best place ever. And I'm here with some friends, and we were sponsored tonight by Philly Grub Miami. Philly Grub, best cheesesteaks in town. We'll be talking about them because we're going to be eating them. But folks, welcome guys. I want to welcome my guests. First of all, everybody out there, you all have a napkin, right?
Yes.
I stole one from five different amazing places in town.
This looks
This
like the
one,
board.
no, that one is from your wedding.
Oh!
That one's from your
From
wedding.
the boat.
That one's from your
Sorry.
wedding. We have our waiter Juan Carlos running back and forth with the Philly Grub cheesesteaks that we have tonight. We have both cheesesteaks and chicken cheesesteaks. So it's kind of exciting with all the accoutrements. And we're going to go around the table. This show's completely ripped off. We'll probably get a cease and desist from Jon Favreau if he's not too busy with Iron Man 7. Dinner for Five. My good friend who flew all the way from Los Angeles, Allegra Riggio. You guys, yeah, she.
Thank you, studio audience.
Usually there should be like some Woody Allen music in the background, but I don't want to be thrown off of YouTube or whatever, Facebook for anything, you know what I mean? As it is, all the F-bombs I plan on dropping. Juan Barquin. Juan Barquin is the youngest film critic for the Miami New Times, and he is very outspoken and for his age extremely film knowledgeable.
I mean, that just means I hate everything.
I didn't want to say it like that, but if you wanted to go there, sure.
I mean, yeah, why not?
And the lovely Michelle Lesham, who she is so elegant. And every time I see Gal Gadot, the new Wonder Woman, I think she's not the sexiest Israeli. Michelle Lesham is. We worked together she did the VIP, I did the general admission. And I'm so glad to have you here, Michelle. I'm going to pick your brains what you've been up to in the last 20 years. And Herb Sosa, he brought a bunch of twinks in the audience. I guess he roams like buffalo in a pack, but he is twink buffaloes. They're out there.
They're gluten free.
Twink whisperer. They're free range twinks.
I hope that's a new category.
But no,
GMO.
Herb is the founder, and he put together Orgullo. How do I say it?
Orgullo.
Say.
It's Celebrate Orgullo, Hispanic LGBT pride.
It's like a Latino gay pride. And let me tell you, every morning I wake up, I celebrate gay Latinos. I do. I think I'm going to put this up again.
Yes.
I'm just going to show you this. Did you notice that with my, I said everybody just wear cute from the waist up because I figured, I'll just wear something. And I wore like Joan Crawford, as she got older to draw her away from her neck. Every dress had a necklace built in, and be careful what you wish for because I now have a sporty A cup. If you wear a bra for 30 years, 30, 40 years, have a career, all of a sudden, you're shaping your body.
It's like binding your waist.
It's crazy. It really is crazy. So, pull this up again. So everyone's going to drink, which is nice, and John's going to serve us. Everyone got we
To Shelley, to the first
Well, thank
Shelley.
you guys.
Shelley Show.
Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Now, you guys, we worked in clubs together. We worked at Salvation together. We worked at Crowbar together. You've been thrown out of it.
I've been thrown out of every one of those. Yes.
And Juan has just recently started going to clubs, so you do the whole Wynwood.
Oh, I'm young and innocent. I haven't gone to any. Every time anyone over 30 tries to talk to me about something, they're like, "Oh, but that already closed. You never went to it." I'm like,
He was like, I was watching movies.
Yeah,
I'm watching
that's
I was a
okay.
child.
80. Wow. So in other words, your parents are still together.
No.
Oh, you would think as a child of divorce you would have whipped into gay bars.
Not a child of divorce either.
Wow. Wait. So
I'm like, I don't know how dark.
He was hacked.
Oh no! I don't know. Don't get into it. Don't make me sad. I don't want to hear about any orphanages on the first show. I don't want to hear about tsunamis. Nothing sad. Nothing sad. Everything happy. All happy things. That's because it's so hard to do a show like this and not talk about all the depressing things going on in the world. But if you want to hear something that's really been I'm not there's been so much sad shit going on, but I'm going to tell you something funny that happened to me that I can't stop thinking about. So I might as well just get it out there. First of all, the white elephant in the room. How fucking good do I look?
Amazing.
20 years later, since we've known each other,
It's the lipstick.
No, this lipstick is. I didn't want to get on that. don't buy Rimmel. Even if it's on sale for $2 and Kate Moss's pictures, she's all splayed out, and you're like, I got a lot in common with Kate Moss. Let me get this for $2. Don't do
You
it.
do look fantastic.
I do look good.
But
You
the
look.
lighting is very good.
But you listen. We actually, and this is funny because a girlfriend of ours, a mutual girlfriend in LA, we always do like.
Nicole.
Yep. So now I can't tell the story about her. That funny story I had. I'm gonna tell it anyways.
Yeah, she wouldn't care.
But no, we sometimes, we get into our pajamas and we're up on, up in Argyle Ave and we get
Marveling at how great we all look.
No, and we look at you and we try to find a wrinkle on Allegra and we haven't been able to find one. And it's just her DNA. You should see her mother. Her mother looks 30.
And
You
she
should see
she still looks the same as when I first met her.
Yeah, it's great. And you do too.
You do too. That's what happens when you work in nightlife, kids. There's no sun damage and you remain young forever.
I never thought of that. I used to use.
It's the music.
Well, I thought.
It's the sound of because you could be so tired
Yeah.
heading to the club to work after spending a whole day working, if it's like during the day prepping for the nightclub, or then the night before, you're still in at least 8 to 10 hours usually if you're really into the nightlife industry, plus not including what your the showbiz time. But then the second you walk into the space, no matter how tired and how much you're like, oh, I have to go into work tonight, the second you hear the music, you're just like, all right, let's do this.
I'm buffeted by the bass. Yes. It draws me in, my feet leave the floor, and they just float.
I never thought of it like that though, but it's so true.
When you bring joy as a living, it keeps you young.
I used to tell people,
Smile
leave your
a lot.
problems at home. Don't come in. You're a drag queen. You're like a clown. No one wants to hear about your problems. Last night you didn't sleep or you drank too much. Your boyfriend. No one wants to hear that shit. So.
But nobody could hear it anyway because it's so damn loud.
Oh, and then if you're screaming it at them, that's
Right.
even worse. Oh, my boyfriend.
I had
No
to
one wants
put
to
my
hear it.
dog down!
Oh God! You're like, what? My dog is dead. Nobody wants to hear it. I found out. That's the worst. Now, my thing, I find that like with me, I think what kept me young, I think what was if you take the cocaine and you empty it out in your hand and add a little tequila and make like a paste. Like a slurry of the cocaine and tequila, slurry, but and don't liberally. Your first thing you think you would just want to put it all on, but you just very liberally, and then down here on your waddle you want to get. It's not worked down here that well.
You use it all up, or
Oh, every drop of it, in fact, you lick your hands after.
Wouldn't it be great if that was true?
Well, no, Mick Jagger told me that when I was on tour with the Rolling Stones, that's not true. Imagine that's just a little cocaine tequila slurry.
might make it true.
Try it. I want one.
Do you want to look like Mick Jagger?
Yes, he's
Good
like.
question.
I kind of do.
He looks
Do
like
you?
he has some sun damage. And I don't think
More
the
than
great
just
music
sun
has
damage.
helped
Well,
him.
I was gonna say
works
that
for him.
nightlife has not
No
helped.
offense.
No, not
You know what
in
has
the
helped him? A
slightest.
lot of aerobic activity.
Yeah.
If you see him live, he's
Yeah.
just like moving
Well,
around.
that's another example of the
Electrified
music
chicken the
making
entire
you.
time.
That's the music making
That's
you
the
just
not,
feel-
total and
Yeah.
other
You
I was,
live forever, but too much sun damage.
Yeah,
Because your
obviously.
feet can hurt so much, but if you're dancing, your feet don't hurt when
Yeah.
you're dancing.
Yeah.
I feel like they made better shoes when we were younger. These days, you buy the shoes that look like the shoes you had 20 years ago because the 90s are back, and I just can't dance the way. Maybe it's just old. Thanks.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. So adorable.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried dancing all night at the Emmys because nobody ever dances at these red carpet things, and I'm not afraid of a dance floor at all. And it's usually one jackass, and I'm always that jackass.
At that time of the night, though.
that starts dancing because
right.
people then pepper out, as we all know.
Yeah.
But I danced all night, and I didn't have a heavy dress on, and my feet. But the dogs were barking. I don't know. Maybe it was dogs.
Well, now
Or
when that
shoes
happens
stuff.
on Emmy night, like when you're at that party and it's the after party, and you get everybody dancing, so to speak. What are there people that are just so sad that they lost, or the people? I would assume if you're so happy you won, you'd be dancing your face off.
Nobody
And if I
wants
lost, I would just be like, let's do it. I'd be like,
I think there's every reason to
punching
dance.
nice
If you won or
sculptures.
if you lost, if you won, it's to
a
celebrate, and
celebration.
if you lost, it's
Sure.
just like one.
that
big
you were
form
lucky
of
you were there,
release that
and
were
you can always
nominated.
say that you were an Emmy nominee. Maybe you didn't win, but that's always in front of your name.
Moral of the story: there's always a reason to dance.
That's the truth. But if you do win an award at the after party, you are carrying that award. And
No, you're not.
usually
My
they're not
husband's carrying
branded
the
yet. They have a number on the bottom, and so you take it to this company and they put your placard on it. So none of them look the same. So you could switch an award with like Tarantino,
Oh, wow.
or just take his if he's on the dance floor. So when my husband won an award for Mad Men,
Oh, yeah.
I took something from my purse and I wrapped it around the naked form of the SAG award, so people knew that it was his.
Now don't bend over backwards though, because the SAG award they
Always
use it to
looking
prop open the bathroom,
green
the
bathroom.
guest bathroom in the Beverly
It's
Hills
true.
home.
And it still has a thing for my purse around it.
Which the place is like a museum, mind you. Okay, I tried to do. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna." I was like, "Finally, I'm gonna go out on the balcony and I look over that beautiful, the view of like the Hollywood Hills and the lights. Like people from us poor people from the East Coast, like we see in television and movies. So I'm like, I'm gonna open these French doors. I'm gonna look out. I go open up the beep 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 beep. There's are you all right down there, Tommy? That's my Jared.
Very
That's
good
my
Jared.
are you all right? Which is his way of saying close that effing door and go to bed. You know what I mean?
We have a lot of security.
You've done why wouldn't you? The
With good
Mansons.
reason.
They just let one of the Mansons out. We don't know
They
if she.
did?
They
Yeah.
just
Which
they
one?
Leslie.
Not the fun one.
Not the the one that I get.
Which one was
I don't
fun?
know. I think she like drove the car. I'm not sure. I personally think if you drove the car, you're just as guilty. But I think it was Leslie. Someone I think someone should Google it, but he's too busy. He's serving the food.
He's getting our
Google boy!
No, but in podcasts they always have a little boy.
It's doable stuff.
No, like
That's what the
Iron
interns
Chef
are
where
for.
somebody doesn't know what's happening, they go squeeze on, and then some voice come up from the other side goes, well, Philly grub, it has Kobe beef and blah 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 blah. They know all the answers. Is that guy?
They do use Amoroso subs, which is some delicious bread. Let me tell you something. Philly grub. I want to call it Philly cheese grub. Philly grub. They have one down on. Hold on.
And let's just say Shelley knows sandwiches.
I do know sandwiches, guys. Let me tell you something. They have a location at 99 Northwest 54th Street. They're going to be opening soon up in
Hollywood.
somewhere north somewhere.
Portland.
I'm hoping I can work as the cash
Bauer.
register girl
Miami
because
Beach.
I love a good, comforting sub. So that's that. What is like the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you while you were in an awkward situation? Like, for example, one time I got in drag, and at the time, like drug, it was like we were going to do a show at the Bee Gees house.
Oh, those were fun. Was it
Taffy, Marvella, Sexcelia, everyone was,
the
Sexcelia
one
was
with the
still
pool with
alive.
the mountain in it?
I don't remember the place. I blocked it out. So I said to myself, at the time, it wasn't my thing. Like drug humor. But at the time, Absolutely Fabulous was big, and drug humor was big, and Sexcelia used to do this act with fake cocaine, and it was fine. So I thought, let me jump. This is a testimony to don't do something that isn't you, and don't do something that you're not feeling. But the theme of the party at the Bee Gees house was gypsies, tramps, and thieves. So I said to myself, well, I'm going to do Stevie Nicks. First of all, drag queens out there, don't do Stevie Nicks. Unless it's Night of 1,000 Stevies, don't do it. So I do Stevie Nicks, and I said, well, I'm going to do drug humor, even though I've never done it before. Pills will fall out of my purse. So I do it, and the pills are falling, and I don't remember what friggin' Stevie Nicks song I did. I think it was You See Your Gypsy. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good one.
So
Gypsy.
the song ends, and the mother's there, the mother of the Bee Gees.
Grandma Bee Gees?
Grandma Bee Gee, and it went like this.
They're a tough crowd to be.
So then we get home, we're driving home, and I'm like to Taffy. I say, what happened? She was like, she goes, well, Andy Gibb had the heart attack because of the coke, the drug. They're very anti-drug, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and you guys let me do that the whole ride up, and they were like, and on the ride home,
you to do it.
encouraged me, and then on the ride home, they said, we just wanted to see how it would go for you, and I was like, yeah, now I see the Bee Gees out and about. It's like they look at the public's up on the bay. They're like,
Go down the other aisle.
Yeah, but
Never
Bee Gees,
again.
They're local legends, and a lot of people in Miami know and been the kids and have been to the house.
That
I guess
was
they have
Shelley.
suffered.
If
They have
that's-
suffered addiction.
If it's not your thing, then don't do it. If in drug humor, it's just I don't know.
I can't do lights for all music. I've tried, and I'm old, and I've done lights for 20 years. There are certain things I just can't do anymore.
But you know your lights when you walk into a place. Don't sometimes you say to yourself, Jesus, the lighting. I just want to
Every
go and
single
fix
minute of the
everything."
day, when I walk into any room, even a public bathroom, like the lights, terrible. I'm a real tough crowd when it comes to lighting. Why, thank you.
That is
Look
the
at this incredible Philly grub chicken
chicken
sandwich.
cheesesteak. I like that.
Cheesesteak.
And we have like some marinara and some hot peppers and some chips and cream soda. We've got so many wonderful things.
Spoken like a true
It
Italian.
smells like my grandmother's house, which is
Yeah, we
crazy.
do. We have it.
What's on these chips?
Now, Michelle, you
Great,
are
because it smells like
working
my
your
grandma's
own
house.
company now, which is like public relations, which I don't understand why.
No, not public
What is it?
relations.
Because in my head, I think of you like Samantha from
Because you
Sex and
see
the
me
City.
as the connector, that's why.
Yeah. What are you doing? Tell me.
So I own with my husband a creative agency. So everything-
Supermarket creative.
Yeah.
So over a decade. So everything from brand development, design, strategy, strategic partners, a lot of creative direction, production, everything from launch events, experiential, coming up with really fun campaigns. So it's definitely a fun job. It's definitely mentally draining in a good way.
Yeah.
Because you constantly have to think of really fun, creative ideas in the most simplest form.
When you do that, now, what was your hardest launch? Like, was there something that like you thought everything was going to go perfect one night and it didn't?
Well, with it.
No, everything's perfect with you. Look she's struggling to think of when everything wasn't perfect.
Things aren't perfect, but you should be at least like 99%, like 98%, like it was accomplished, like it's done right. So, with the exception, I think, of one program, an event, which is pretty good, I think. And overall, everything's usually like what you envision is what you have to execute.
Yeah, because it's like kind of like a river starts flowing, and you just have to kind of guide it. Because once it goes, it's going to go the way it's going to go. But you know how to fix mistakes.
Well, the show must go on, right?
Yeah, there you
I
go.
think people who have a nightlife background are very strong in event coordination.
Yeah, that's true.
And
You have to be.
I
branding.
think
Think
you have
on
to
your
think.
feet.
I think you have to think things through a lot. So you definitely should always have like your plan A that moves forward. But then I think when you're in any business for so long, it's really all about like how do you pick up the phone and troubleshoot. But at the same time, it's also having that really good instinct of knowing like when to plan ahead, when to jump the gun, when to. So that I think comes into play. I think in any job, if it's something you're really passionate about per se. I think in our industry, there's definitely a lot more deadlines, a lot more people to please, because you're not always working with one person, but a team. And especially when you're working with a lot of creatives, it's challenging in a really good way, but it's also, you've gotta be on your game, which is,
She's got to get the clients. She's got to keep her staff. She's got to make sure her staff are on the ball.
And it's just you're really looking at a whole 360. So it's everything from like the seed of an idea to who's going to be a part of it to the really not fun stuff, which is like compliance to logistics.
Do you think that you could somehow produce a record album for me? Do you know anyone in the biz? Clive Davis? Anyone? No?
I produce anything.
Could you make that happen?
Yeah,
also, I want to be
we can
branded.
have-
I want
we can
like
have a lot
things.
of fun.
I want things. I want when people see like how when you see smart water, you think of Jennifer Aniston.
No.
When you see
Not at all.
no, that's
Shelley Novak
put that back
Show.
there. No, when you see like a steak and cheese, I want you to think of Shelley Novak. When you think of Philly Grub, for example, I want you to think of good steak and cheese. Everyone, open your steak and cheese.
Delicious.
Juan, you are all about film. What about all these film festivals that have been coming out of the woodwork? The Brazilian one, the Miami one, the gay one, that they won't have anything to do with me. I try to court them.
Really?
I know so much about
I'm so
film.
disappointed.
I don't know
You
why.
do.
I
You've
should.
had your own series.
And you have the Flaming Classics that you're doing now.
Yeah.
You should be hosting a film series.
Well, I did back in the day at the Cinematheque. I used to do Shelley Novak's Hollywood,
Yeah, with Dana.
where I used to just show like campy movies. And you're doing kind of like that right now with Flaming
Yeah,
Classics.
for
and
the
he's
most
got
part it's campy. We want to get into like artsier stuff eventually, but we kind of have to build the audience first. It like takes a minute to get people to like the nice artsy things before. It's like we can't show them like Derek Jarman's Blue or like Orlando because they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing, Juan? Why can't I just see Baby Jane again?
Yeah.
And it's like, I love showing Baby Jane.
It's hard. You got to please the crowd, and it's
Yeah.
hard because like I do it the same way. Like I fought with Dana. I'll never forget. God bless him. And then he thanked me after because during the camp film festival run, I was like, listen, everybody's. I fought him with a letter to 3 wives. I was like,
Really?
watch this movie. This movie is the gayest movie ever. Trust me on this. And Linda Darnell is amazing. And at that time, I was like, I did that thing because with AIDS, we lost a generation. Like I had like the older gays that like showed me what books to read, were educating, would take me to movies, showed me who David Lynch was, John Waters. One of them even put me in drag, So when I said to Dana, let's do this because we've lost that generation. Like they don't know what camp really is. Like if you ask a millennial, be like, what's a dump? They wouldn't know Betty Davis. Thank God for Feud on FX, which was just
Absolutely.
brilliant.
Brings it back to life.
And
Shipka.
yeah, Karen Shipka, your little friend from Mad Men.
Little friend from Mad Men.
And it's so funny because this one, you know, it's, you know, you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you talk about. You can't say something bad about somebody because she's like, oh, I went to Trader Joe's with them yesterday. So you got to be careful. Like, I think I said something about Tom Cruise and Scientology, and she was
really
like,
nice guy.
there you go. He is a nice, and you know what? He is a nice guy.
I'm sure Elizabeth Moss is as well. It's like,
no, I'm
she likes that glare.
No, actually, no. I heard that Elizabeth Moss is not the nicest person.
She's very professional.
I'm like,
there you go. That was really cool.
It is
She
a very
said,
professional
Incredibly,
thing to say.
talented.
now tell me about arugula.
Arugula also known
Well, I
as-
put my marinara on my, because you got to get some pictures
What
of me
other sauces
eating.
are there?
There's a marinara and there's some little hot peppers too.
Well, as you lovingly call it, arugula. Celebrate Orgullo. I run an organization called Unity Coalition that works with the Latino, Hispanic, LGBT community. And one of the programs that we do is celebrate Orgullo, which means pride.
Okay.
It's in its 7th year.
Wow.
It's October 1st to the 15th.
Lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7.
So,
We're
you,
hoping.
so there's a week's worth of stuff.
It's 15 days.
Would you, do
actually.
you block off a street or some shit? Tell
We
me.
have actually
Julio.
right here at MMM Gallery is one of the exhibits. We do a juried arts show. We do a bus tour where we go to different artist studios. We do stuff with in Midtown. Different like drinking parties, all kinds of stuff.
Drinking
all kinds of
parties?
stuff. Yeah,
Where do I
love
sign?
drinking parties.
I like that.
love drinking parties. And then this year we're focusing on, and it's interesting you say about lost generations, if you will. That's big for us, for Unity Coalition, because unfortunately we did lose a whole generation of the LGBT community.
You guys are like mentors.
And one of the things we're doing this year, we're celebrating somebody by the name of Sarah Montiel, who was iconic in the 1950s and 60s. She was really, everybody calls themselves the first crossover. She was the first crossover in Hollywood. She learned to smoke cigars with Ernest Hemingway. I mean, she was just incredible.
Is she still alive?
She passed away about 6 years ago.
Oh.
But she was also instrumental during the Franco regime, which was a brutal dictatorship in Spain. She helped hundreds of gay people, almost like an underground railroad, if you will.
Is she originally from Spain? What's her story?
Oh yeah, absolutely. She's from Barcelona.
Did she live in Miami at all? Or
She traveled here a lot. Actually, one of her best friends lives here. But we're bringing a couple of authors and some talent, if you will, from Spain as part of Orgullo. So yeah, it's part of that. It's, the people that know who she was will love her and celebrate and sing along to her songs, and the ones that don't, hopefully will educate
So she was
them a
in
little
music.
bit.
Like, tell me how she was across.
She was in theater. She was in theater. She was in movies. She did over 59 movies. She did 40-something albums.
And they're all in Spanish, or did she cross over into the English market?
She did a lot of English as well. Yeah.
Did she ever do an episode of One Tree Hill?
I don't think so.
No? She did.
That's Sophia Bush.
There's still
Oh,
time though.
threatened
There's still
by-
time.
Same. There's
No,
still
she
time.
was-
Actually, they might have a reunion and use her music in it.
She was truly iconic, and again, it's very interesting because generationally, you talk to certain people and like, oh my God, it's like saying Sophia Loren. Or
I have a Sophia
somebody
Loren
like
story that's a
Tell-
generational story.
Tell me,
Go ahead,
tell us while I eat some sandwich.
You'll die.
The best part.
This is
Please.
such bullshit.
This is perfect.
So,
Go on, I'll eat.
I was in Geneva, and I was flying to LA for SAG Awards. And so I'm sitting there, and these two idiots, well, I hadn't decided we're idiots until I went through this story. These two young men sitting across from me. And I feel like a gush of wind, and I look, and it's an airport. There shouldn't be a gush of wind. I look, and I see a woman who's obviously a woman of an elegant certain age, head to toe animal print. When I say head to toe animal print,
That's awesome.
she had those dual colored lenses, like from the violet to the pink, that were like, tortoise shell.
Sure.
She had her hair bouffanted up a little bit with a little bang and a low ponytail, and her clip in the back was leopard print. She had a raincoat that had like the high collar that was cinched at the waist, closed, that was of course leopard print. She had tight pants that were leopard print. She had flats studio audience that were leopard print. This bitch was leopard print, and I went,
Beautiful.
Jesus Christ! Like I screamed. Jesus Christ! And the kids across from me looked up from their phone, like whatever porn they were watching, morons, and they were like, what just happened? I said, look, it's Sophia Loren. And they went, who's Sophia Loren?
Oh.
And I went,
Yeah, I know. It's
Really,
so.
Shelley right now
I
is
said,
figuring out how to sponsor that outfit.
okay.
You know, everything that you just said, like
Everything.
literally, I was like, that was.
Everything.
And I,
Wait.
go tell us, finish.
Who's Sophia Loren? And I got all hot, my jacket flew off, and then it flew back on like anime. And then I said, okay, think to yourself, Allegra, maybe people just, what, how? Are you born on this planet? I said, are you like 21? And they both said, yeah. How'd you know? I said, I wasn't born yesterday. I said, Sophia Loren is a very famous, the most famous Italian actress, became hugely famous, started in films in the 1940s, became hugely famous, crossed over in the 1950s. Cary Grant fell in love with her, but the hugest scandalo. And then like she ended up married, but she's hugely famous. And they're like, I said, okay, do you know who Marilyn Monroe is? They're like, white dress, blowing. I said, that is your Marilyn, that's all you can see. And I felt so horrible for humanity and its future.
But Kylie Jenner's pregnant by a black guy,
Everybody
I heard.
knows.
And they all know that.
Of course.
I had to look up who he was.
It's crazy.
I mean, so do I usually.
I had to look too. I looked because I thought I was going to see a cute, like Shamar Moore type.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like she looks like she's pregnant by Chameleon Air. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. Wiz Khalifa.
He's better looking than Wiz Khalifa is better.
I don't know. I would.
More refined,
I'm just happy Shamar Moore's back to Cold Case, whatever that show is.
him.
He's been
One,
killing it lately.
talking about Sophia Loren, I
How
always
did they know?
felt.
How do you miss that?
I always felt like Sophia Loren for the movie Two Women, she was great, but I always felt like Natalie Wood should have got the Oscar that year. Now this year, this Oscar race is shaping up crazy. There's so many women.
I'm
You know,
so
That's the
bored.
thing. Every
they
year,
always
all I
struggle
hear about
every
is
year.
the
Yeah,
women.
they struggle every year. They say, "Oh, there's not enough female roles." There's so many great women to choose from. I feel
All the
that.
movie stars are on television now, winning Emmys.
Yeah, that's true.
Nicole
That's true.
Kidman.
Laura Dern.
Huh?
But I think that the race this year is the men's race with. If I had to choose the 5 guys just right now at this time, and that's this stage of the game, but here in September 26th, and this is me being a little nostalgic and melancholy. Harry Dean Stanton in Lucky, he finally got that. You know, since Paris, Texas, he hasn't had a leading role, and there was so much buzz, and then he died. I felt so bad. Sam Elliott.
91.
Well, listen,
I know, but
I'm gonna live.
Shocking.
I literally am gonna live forever. Look at me, the white
I mean, he was
elephant in the room.
magnificent and like his like.
Everything he was
on
in.
Twin Peaks
Everything he
recently.
ever did. There
That's
wasn't
the beautiful thing about character actors. They really
Yes.
flesh everything out. They make the
straight
I mean, look
time.
at Ann Dowd winning her first act. Like it's like,
Right.
How?
How
did it take this
why,
long?
When?
And then Sam Elliott in The Hero.
I love him.
Sam
I haven't seen
Elliott.
it.
Oh my God, he's so good in that.
Isn't this your job?
I know.
And then I feel, of course, and it kills me because I'm so sick of everybody winning awards playing Winston Churchill. But Gary Oldman,
Gary
he never
Oldman
gets
did it,
he
yes.
never gets
You played
nominated.
Churchill?
He
Yeah,
played
it's-
Churchill in
it's
The
coming out in
Darkest
like a month.
Hour.
Yeah.
There's been so
Just
much
in-
Churchill lately.
And I'm a little over it. I'm a little over
eyeballs in
it. I'm a little over it because her husband was in The Crown, and every time they would nominate the husband, and they would always nominate Lithgow. And this year, and you know, I'm over the Emmys though because the fact that they gave, and I love the kid from Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong, they gave it to him 2 years in a row. Your husband should have got it that year. And I'm also upset because a girlfriend of mine, Ellen Pompeo, they gave it to Kevin Bacon's wife for that movie, that show where
Keith
she.
Sedgwick.
The closest, she
Yeah.
couldn't even keep the accent straight.
That's a television.
The only thing I wanted to close was my TV, and that was Ellen's one chance. She was at the height of her Grey's Anatomy, and if that's a word.
Grey's Anatomy.
So okay, Winston Churchill, Harry Dean Stanton, Sam Elliott, and then I was thinking Jake Gyllenhaal, who is so overdue,
Right.
and he's playing the amputee from the jump, but they got
There's
the
been a scandal
no
about
legs.
that.
You got to do the Oscar checklist.
I mean, yeah.
Biopic, no legs.
Yeah, no, it's
Boston
Oscar Gold.
Marathon, America, Eagles,
Oscar Gold.
Oscar
It's
Gold.
like, does he deserve it for that? No, he deserves it for
I like
a
that.
billion other
I haven't
things.
seen it. I haven't seen it yet, and
It's
I
not
want
out
him.
yet.
I want
No.
him.
It's fine.
What, the Gyllenhaal?
Stronger,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
been a lot
good.
of
It's not-
hullabaloo,
It's
shall
just
we say,
everyone
Because of
thinks
the
he's
regarding
amputee
it because they didn't even think to look to cast an amputee, and there are a lot of amputee,
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
special-
got to sell the movie.
Well,
So
that's what I said,
It's the
which
name.
is how
It's the
Hollywood
name
works.
recognition.
I
course, how
can't
Hollywood
stand
works.
it, but they feel like they need to sell it on a star. But there are 3 components to selling a film. There's the star, obviously. There's the director, and there's the genre. You can have 2. You can have a great genre that people want to see, and a fantastic director that people will go to see all of their stuff.
Right.
And give somebody an opportunity like Gal Gadot, who became Wonder Woman.
And she proved everybody wrong.
Nobody'd seen
I
before.
have to say though, when I look on my Apple TV for a movie, whether it's on Netflix or the new releases,
Yeah.
there are more revenge movies
Yeah.
than there are.
Oh yeah.
And when you're going through each one, you don't really notice it until it's actually on your face, in front of your face, noticing like you're going through, because now when you have a subscription, you're seeing that the new releases that they keep getting.
Yeah.
Are, okay, in 5 more days, hopefully there's a
Liam
new
Neeson,
batch.
Taken 17.
So all of them are like revenge.
Yeah.
I will find you.
Well, it's like
Fire.
yeah.
You're all of these, and you're
John
like,
Wick
that's all of-
5.
and then there's like the occasional like kids flick, and you're like, all right.
There's too much violence.
But all of them really range around like one type of subject matter. And I found that really interesting. I mentioned it to my friend the other day because I was just like, well, I'll come over for a movie, but most likely we'll have these
We'll watch a classic.
Yeah.
because these are kind of like the genres that are, like you said, going back to your point, that if it's really based on a lot of the genres, then I think the genre that's the most selling or the most profitable
Violence.
one seems to be
Guns, violence.
Do you
drugs.
think-
There's
do you
also
think
a
maybe-
pattern. It also is like once something sells, all of a sudden you see 10 more
Oh, yeah.
movies.
Oh, it's
of
so
the
boring.
exact
Unless
same
it stars
thing.
women.
It's safe.
But it's
safe.
all kinds
In
of
which
revenge.
case, they
'cause
just
it's-
keep
it's-
saying we're gonna do more, but
There's
then they don't.
infidelity
Yeah.
revenge, there's
Yeah.
crime revenge,
Sure.
it's all of them are on.
Do you think because there's so much craziness in the world, you watch a movie like that and you think, okay, I can control the situation because Liam Neeson will save the day.
I think it's maybe one of the most common characteristics that they think that humans can relate to, because when they're talking about revenge and all these different genres, they do, some movies are about infidelity, so there's some sort of revenge that took place there. The other movie that was about revenge was a crime heist, so that had to do more with like money. The other revenge was, if it's more about like in the medicine or in like
Yeah. The gift where he got the
Yeah.
wife pregnant or whatever. Oh, spoiler.
That awkward like surprise maybe right at the end. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Nothing like a surprise maybe,
So
right?
they
Yeah.
kind of like
Betsy
it's kind
DeVos
of like
to
they
take
really
away our
kind of all focus
fright.
on human nature and kind of
You know what's
the bad
interesting?
side of what
Yeah.
humans could do versus because you don't really have like good news kind of movies. You do, but I don't find that you have a
Well, you know
lot
what's
of them.
funny
so
about
few.
what you're saying? So there have been studies done about when, like, actual humanity and what the world is going through when it tanks into war and lots of violence. Weirdly, in Hollywood, it spikes into fantasy.
Sure.
Because people would rather see vampires and unicorns and fairies and magical worlds
Yeah.
rather than see stuff that's reflected that
reality.
they can see on the news all
One
the
of the most
And then when it goes into like more peaceful times, then
back to the usual.
stuff like that usually becomes more popular. That's why we're all up to our necks in all these horrible revenge movies.
Yeah.
And there's so much violence because people are forgetting about like the fairy stories.
of course.
But there's coming across Jared's my husband's desk are a lot of fantasy stuff that I'm like, be a unicorn, be a
Get out
unicorn,
there.
be a centaur. I want you to do something funny, like I'm
Beat the
tired of
Care
everybody dying.
Bears.
Stop that! Oh my God, wouldn't that be great?
I'm Happy Bear or whatever.
Jared would be so good as a hero.
I just think that it's,
Care Bear stares.
I'm living in a bubble. I just there's so much craziness in the world.
That
I
eyebrow.
I love a good comedy.
Well, there's
Check it
something
out,
to
guys.
that because there, and this is factual. Right after World War II,
Yeah.
the sales of red lipstick, and I stare into your
That's
red
all right.
lipstick,
And my glass. It's also
skyrocketed.
all over my glass.
Skyrocketed, and
Yeah.
then this is true. This is history.
Yeah.
And they basically did the same thing, like a study, and it's like, well, women wanted to be out of the drudges, out of this horrible time that everybody was going through. And lipstick was the cheapest, quickest way to kind of do that.
To zhuzh yourself
Yeah,
up.
to zhuzh
Yeah,
yourself up,
sure.
exactly.
Look, the men were coming back. They were shell shocked.
Absolutely.
A little smack of red lipstick will
Absolutely.
shock them
Absolutely.
right back into focusing on the mouth.
So I think that the movies and
Color of Love.
also reflect that to a certain extent. You know, it's supposed to take us out of our reality.
There's just so many great performances this year. I'm just excited by it.
I've been so bored with films this year.
Have you? There's nothing that
I
you've
haven't.
liked. I guess it's all the little things.
Bored.
I've seen so many.
To
I've loved a lot this
tears.
year, but there's a lot.
What
of
about
just
Greta
small
Gerwig?
movies.
Has anybody seen the new Greta? Please.
No, not yet.
No.
Lady Bird.
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
excited.
it's insane. Kathy, what's her name? The girl
Bates.
from not Kathy Bates, the other one. Not
There is
Kathy
no
Gray.
other Kathy.
The very talented actress. She was on Roseanne. She played the sister.
Oh, that's right.
I just saw her.
She plays the mother in this movie. She blows it out of the park.
She's wonderful.
She's so
She's a
good.
great
God, I
actress.
can't believe I don't
Can't think of
remember
her
the,
name. We're all
Her
blowing
daughter
up.
is
We're all
Kathy.
terrible.
No, it's not Kathy. That's what's throwing us.
It
No, but she does great drama as well. I mean, she's good in
Kathy,
comedy.
It's like
and does
hunted down.
Hang on a second.
No, she's on Broadway right now.
She is. I saw it.
She's got a bunch of Emmys.
She's so
not
good.
she's no slouch. Kathy.
It's not Kathy.
She's very dykey, but she's not.
She's not.
Oh my God, wasn't she just on
Kathy.
No, I don't want to look at this commercial.
IMDb.
I'm on it. It wanted me. to-
But she's amazing.
She's a really good actress.
And I mean, there's just
She won.
so much going
she won
on.
a Tony for what she.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to think. She won a Tony for the last thing she did.
Wasn't it A Doll's House Part 2? On stage.
Mhm.
Laurie Metcalf.
Oh,
there you
go.
Kathy. There's only one
Jesus.
Kathy in Hollywood.
Kathy.
Kathy Laurie?
Kathy. Imagine. You know what it was? Because she looks like the actress Kathy Baker. That's
I can
what
see
it is.
that.
She looks like
I
Kathy
can see
Baker.
that.
I don't know that actress either.
She looks just like her, but she wishes she had the
Did
same
you see
career.
Certain Women with Laura Dern?
No, I
Yes.
wish.
Yes.
Kay Stu.
I wish.
Michelle Williams.
I feel
and,
guilty that I
and
didn't.
a small
'cause
actor named Jared Harris.
I feel guilty. I feel guilty because I try to watch the stuff the husband does.
And alongside.
But I also I don't like to tell him how great he is because
She's
people
perfect.
don't want to hear that.
Everyone's so good.
But he was so good, and this is the one time I told him. I said, the one time I'm going to lather your ass.
Director's from here.
And I didn't even know it was him. In this movie Happiness, where there was a guy who plays had no idea it was him. Plays a Russian cab driver. So believable, so amazing. When I find out later it's him, I told him, I go,
Oh, and Happiness?
yeah,
That's real?
that's how how good he is.
Oh.
And I told,
watch it.
and that's the one time I said, I'm never going to lather your ass, but I got to tell you that, and that's it.
Yeah.
So suck it up now.
the first time you
I mean,
So
Happiness
it came
is.
out in the late 90s.
98.
And so,
The accents,
So,
I
so
mean, it's
my
like, I know
mom,
Happiness.
you know, on your television at home, you can put in the name of an actor and they'll search and then they'll record the thing. So my mom wanted to get to know.
oh gosh.
this
Oh, no,
person
she
that
saw
I had fallen in love
Happiness?
with. No, so I was
Oh,
home
thank
in
God.
Miami, and my mom said, "Let's watch one of Jared's movies." And I said, "Okay, let's go into the queue and see what it is." I said, "Oh, Happiness," and I hadn't seen Happiness. And so I called Jared and I was like, "Hey, Mom and I are staying in. We're gonna do Jared Harris Appreciation Night." And so he's like, "What are you gonna watch?" And I said, "Happiness." He said, "Under no circumstances, watch that with your mother."
No, let me do just.
And I was like,
Hey,
"What?"
Allegra, turn off the television now.
You make him sound like James Mason.
I do. I can only do James Mason. Lolita, put down that nail polish, Lolita. That's all I can do.
You do a good James Mason.
Listen, my cue cards too. I've completely thrown them out. You people are wonderful conversationalists. You might want to take these home with you as
Memories.
as your memories.
Put your
Mine's
lipstick on
just
it.
say lights, clubs, carpet, nerd.
Michelle says,
Michelle's on
"Oh
the
yeah, no,
side.
Michelle. I wanted to ask you about the TV show where they fixed your house up. What the hell was it? Flip or Flop? You can't even think of the name. They came in. It was
Somebody needed to fix your house.
home. You know, they went in.
So-
She just bought the house with the hot husband, the little DJ, the smoking hot
He's gotten
DJ
better looking
husband.
because his wife is so amazing.
Oh, yeah, well, the same thing with Bowie and Amon. Amon cleaned Bowie right up too.
Yeah.
But we
She
didn't
said,
need cleaning up.
She said, enough with the
Oh, we
bisexuality.
didn't need plans.
No.
She said, no, just get out of that little gnome outfit. She got him out of that gnome outfit.
We love Sean.
So a
So
friend
flip or
of
flop?
ours, it wasn't flip or flop. I wasn't that. So a friend of ours was a casting director for this show. And this was, I think, this was on TLC.
Okay.
And it was right when TLC was coming out. And he was like, "You want to do this? Because like they sold it like they're gonna go in and they're gonna totally, redo your house.
Yeah.
It's gonna be completely changed, and it'll, they just want to make sure that like your house needs like repair and work." They're like, "All right." Our house didn't really need a lot of
When was
repair
this?
work. This was
It's like
almost like 20
Like
years ago.
right when you bought the house.
moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long time ago. So this is where you really learn that TLC, when it says life unscripted, it's not unscripted.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they knew what they were doing.
But this was like
But
the
they knew what they
beginning.
wanted from you.
Yeah, so like you don't really have a say. Like they get all this information from you, which is like, what do you like? What's your style? What do you not like? And they actually implement things that you like and you don't like.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's
I
terrible.
remember they used chain link fence somehow, and you were
Yeah,
like, and you
I
started
remember-
crying. What did you do to my house?
There was no crying, of course, but
No,
there
you
was
cried.
very like, no, because you tell them, like, to me, I was like, I want a house that's like serene, and like the last thing I'm thinking when I come home is to come home to a nightclub. You know what I mean? Just,
Polar opposite of your
you know, and I
vacation.
come to like to read, to just chill. And we got there and there was like
Privacy.
a bar in the living room. And I was like, no,
wanna
no
have a bar in the
bars,
living room.
please. And then some of the materials were like,
It wasn't blacklight.
it
It's
just,
20 years ago.
it just,
Weird ball.
Neon.
let's just say like, so Sean had to work on it, I guess, for 3 days. So they really, like, you have like long days. And like, I was out of the house, so I have no idea what they're doing. I liking design, I was very specific with like the trim, the finishes, the type of furniture, the brands, where
Yeah,
to get them.
yeah.
Like,
She's
I
a
thought I
woman who knows what
left,
she wants.
I thought I really left them like a good like punch list of like what you need, like
blueprint
the
of what you
colors,
want.
the Pantones.
They had
the
a lot to
shades.
work with.
You know, like I really wasn't that homeowner that was like, I don't know, and you know, like I take risks, I got it. None of that.
That's bullshit.
Oh, no.
So the next day, as soon
What
as
a
I get
great
the surprise,
drama.
of course it's for TV, so you have to act very.
Oh, I
like,
love it.
I love it. And I was
Nuh-uh.
of course, I
It-
did
Throw
that.
Oh my God, it would have been
Oh,
the
no.
best TV if you were like, I hate this. I hate it. I hate it.
I
Asking
think,
for like a
you see,
celebratory
like,
drink and just
Get out of
throw
here.
it.
Apparently, this show continued to be on for 7 years. 'Cause
Yeah.
people that would be on an airplane.
But it's not Flipper Club.
I don't even. Is there a show that's called?
I don't even.
Well, if I was going to go on a show like that, I would go on specifically and to get my place
TLC,
done
don't they
over
have,
for
like,
free.
shows featuring
And then when they
Yeah.
say to you, do you want to, with Flip or Flop, they'd be like, do you want to sell your house now that we've remodeled it? And I would be like,
But they-
yeah, I'm going to stay.
So really, what they did is like one room versus like the whole house, which I guess
Oh,
is a
okay.
good thing.
Or they just weren't.
However, so as soon as you're done and they give you the surprise reveal, so you have to be like, oh, I really love it. It's really great. Oh, it's nice. And
Gritting her
why?
teeth.
Did they take the
Oh,
stuff away then?
You painted my original 1960s table that should never have been there.
Oh no! And they were like, we wanted to make this magenta to match the trim that we put at accent. Ah!
It was all that, oh, you used pink. I love
Didn't they put chain link fence inside the
It was
living room?
something like, yes, they wanted, because they thought like we were
In the
young.
living room?
Yes, they
Yeah.
thought we were like
And
young
weren't that's what nightclub people like is chain link.
And you're
Were you
young,
raising
Like a-
chickens
It's
inside?
Like it's a leather
cruising.
bar. Like it's a leather bar.
It's cruising.
Let's
Like,
just say that as soon
Right,
as they
exactly.
were done, the next day, so you get your first night of sleep at the house. Luckily, it was just one room.
Did you cry a little in bed? I would have.
No, because I knew this is the last thing. Like, I
So
was
the
like,
next
course,
day.
yeah.
So the next day, Sean wakes up, and the first thing I just looked at him, I was like, "Stop tearing everything apart. Let's go." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, you
made
gotta
that
take."
shit.
Like it was what? Like it wasn't gonna stay for like a week.
So
like
you
that
get to
wasn't
keep
gonna
all
happen.
the
Because
stuff,
if
like
you
the
keep,
furniture.
I would have just
and all that.
eBayed it all.
eBay.
eBay it all.
I think we just put it outside. We were-
That shit'll be
It's like
gone
at
in
this
Miami in
point,
2
yeah.
minutes flat. You know.
Yeah.
I think there's a show called something about love it or curb it. Love it or leave it. Put it on the
It was
curb.
important to get it done immediately.
Something on the curb, put it on the
because
curb.
If it stays in the house, then you will get used to it. Like you will get used to the
You don't get used to
uncomfortable.
changing
I was
things.
just
no,
like,
never.
this
Not in a
isn't
house.
happening.
What happened with your table? Were you able to take it to somebody and they were able to lift off the paint? Or?
I learned that letting go is just a part
Oh.
of it.
Now you love paint.
Table.
Oh, the camera?
No, I don't have the table. I couldn't bear to have that table and stare
That's
at
a
it
shame.
being painted like that. It just
Damn,
didn't.
dude.
Were you able to take the paint off and not destroy it?
No.
Damn.
No, you had to.
You always
consider
think
it
those
a
home
loss.
improvement shows bring joy, and now
No, they don't.
I think
all
there might be
lies.
some, but
There's
I
some
think
people
I
love
think
it.
this was the beginning of home remodeling shows.
That was very-
This was really
you-
almost 20 years ago.
Yep.
So, but it was a really good, wake up call of like how things are happening, and from the production team to the logistics to the
Yeah.
script, like Sean enters room,
Yeah.
Sean takes table. Because like they kind of prep you separately with what you like and what you don't like. So
Can I
when
find
they're-
it on the internet?
We're gonna. I don't know if that might
I
have.
tried.
That tape might have disintegrated after 20 years. You ever watch Niecy Nash? Remember Clean House?
Of course.
I used to watch him religiously.
With a
But
big
then,
flower in her hair.
after a while, it went from people being messy to people with mental problems.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, well, we just found a dead cat in the living room. So we're going to clean it up. We're going to remove that dead cat. We're going to
Paint
work
it pink.
around it. We're going to try. Yeah, we're going to paint it
Paint it
pink.
pink and put it on the wall.
And we're going to repurpose it, honey. Now we know. Like, that's my Niecy Nash. But you know,
that was better. That was not.
That was better than
James Mason
that was
at
better
all.
than James Mason.
I think James Mason.
Imagine if James Mason's at a home show.
It was a big,
Lolita,
fantastic.
we need you
famous-
to realize that you can't keep the hutch. You're going to have to say goodbye to the hutch, Lolita, because it doesn't fit with the room, Lolita.
Why is it always Lolita?
Because that's the only James Mason. Oh, Lolita. You can either keep the hutch or you can keep the bar stools. But
What
you
was
can't
the
have
name?
both,
What was
Lolita.
Judy Garland's name in star is Born?
Oh God, that's gonna kill me.
You're a bad
Oh,
film
no.
people.
No, you should know that. Star is Born.
I
Frances
should.
Gum was the
James
real name.
Mason was so
Esther
good.
Victoria Blodgett. They named her Vicky
Esther-
Lester.
yes, yes.
Oh my
Esther,
God.
and then they named her Esther Victoria Blodgett, and they
You should
changed the
say
name to Vicky
Esther
Lester.
Victoria Blodgett.
Oh, Esther, you can either keep the chest of drawers or give away that armoire. That's what I like to do. That.
But the cat must come off
But the
of
cat-
the wall.
That,
Esther,
he
please.
did something like that in there, wasn't it? That movie, and they gave that Oscar to Grace Kelly because she when
For the men's?
no, for the country girl. When beautiful people, no, she's gorgeous and I love her. And in a way, if it had to go to someone else, I'm glad it was her. But it's that whole thing of beautiful women uglying down to get an
Strip
award.
them down
It doesn't always. With that, she wore like
If
a
you play
sweater
a
with some
hooker in
holes in it.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
winning an Oscar,
It goes up.
your chances go way up.
But like, look at
Kim Basinger,
Charlize Theron from
Charlize Theron. Well, that you can't
But
even.
it's a fantastic.
Mia
Her
Sorvino.
performance was incredible.
Yes.
though.
Oh, God bless
Yeah.
her.
But
her.
Charlize getting ugly for that. I mean, that was so brave.
Yeah.
You know.
That
I
was
mean, have you
excellent.
seen her without lighting?
Oh, but my mother's convinced, and when I told my mother that you and Jared, were on in South Africa with
I
her,
wouldn't fuck with
and my
Charlize.
mother who knows everything. If you want to know like the winners
Gonna post it
of
on the clock.
Dancing with the Stars, the winner of American Idol, my mother knows ahead of time. So my mother says, Rose Strangely says, when I said, well, Jared and Allegra in South Africa with Charlize Theron, she's a lesbian. She's a lesbian, and I'm going to tell you why. She got all those dogs, and she chain
my
smokes.
God.
And the boyfriend, who was going to be a vampire, the kid, I don't know his name.
Sean Penn?
No, he was no, not that one. That was just for TV. I'm telling you, she's a
Oh.
lesbian. She's a lesbian. She's adopted all those black
The actor
kids,
who played
all those
Lestat.
dogs. The vampire boy.
From when
Doing my mother, how my
Olivia-
mother does it. Yeah, he's gay too,
From
and they
Aaliyah,
get
was it
together.
Queen of
Yeah, the gay vampire and her, she gets together with the black babies adopted, she's smoking the dog. She's a lesbian. So did Jared and Allegra? What did they do? Tell me. And I tell my mother the story, and she's like, well,
I
make
like
sure you tell them I think she's a lesbian. And I'm like, don't worry, Ma, I'll make sure to
Now you've
bring
told
that
the
up.
world.
And I'll make sure to bring that up over salted focaccia at the Soho House.
No, I wouldn't say that she was lesbian.
But she does chain smoke.
Well, I don't know if she does anymore because she has kids now.
Okay,
It's
so.
possible. I mean, we haven't seen her.
From what my mother says, she adopted
Maybe
a bunch.
she does,
My
she's
mother says she's chain
She
smoking.
too? I don't know if she still does.
My mother knows. She watches a lot. She gets all her news from
Wendy
direct.
Williams.
Yeah, when TMZ.
TMZ,
But
Wendy
that's the thing.
Williams.
Like, did you
Of course.
smoke? Did you smoke? When
I
we
never
were,
smoked
when we were growing up,
cigarettes.
we were in nightlife. So another reason that we look so good is because none of us smoke.
Well,
Right.
listen. We could all just get.
in old
light
pictures
up
for
later.
dessert.
It
Look
goes
at-
back to the
God bless.
I thought
dancing.
our sponsors
The
at
light
Philly
was
Grub.
good. If you don't
Yep,
smoke,
no, our
you look
sponsors
good
at Philly
even in
Grub.
bad lighting.
Target.
I'm not ready for.
Oh, you got round
Candy
up. Ooh,
cigarette.
how classy.
We
you
could all do
remember-
our Betty Davis impersonation.
But you
I
guys.
just went straight
Oh.
to eating it.
I know.
So we outdated games.
I
Do you
love
remember
it.
when candy
It's so
cigarettes used to
comforting.
have the
The little red,
thing.
yeah.
little thing, and then you would blow
Yeah.
out, and a
Those-
little bit of the sugar would come
Those
out.
were the
and it looked like-
Popeyes.
Those are the best, and I'm sure that the new PC culture got rid of them.
Sure.
They don't exist anymore.
It's crazy. It's like it's like I tell my kid, it's like this. You want to play with a nail gun, play with the nail gun. Just don't look at it when you shoot the thing. Shoot it away.
Fasten
I've
your
only done it
seat
once.
belts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Wrap up this steak and cheese. I'm eating one all week. Michelle, look at this is why she hasn't gained an ounce in 20 years. She's the Joan Jett of nightlife. She hasn't aged She maybe your husband wants a sandwich. You want to take it home for your husband?
He looks starving.
You wouldn't eat a dead animal?
He looks gluten free.
He does look like he's gluten free. He's just so good I could just eat them nonstop.
Can I tell you a dirty Katharine Hepburn joke? Because I don't have...
I wish you would.
I don't have
I didn't bring you here to have steak and cheese, so not tell dirty Katharine Hepburn.
I don't have a Betty Davis joke, but I have a good Katharine Hepburn.
Can you do her accent?
That's a part of the joke.
I'll take the wheel, Howard.
Okay. Katharine Hepburn goes into a sex shop.
Okay.
She goes up to the guy at the desk. And she goes, "Do you have a vibrator with a revolving head?" And the guy goes, "Yes, Miss Hepburn, this is a sex shop." She goes, "With the variable speed option?" He goes, "Yes, Miss Hepburn, this is a sex shop." She goes, "That takes 4D batteries?" "Yes, Miss Hepburn, this is a sex shop." "How do you turn it off?"
That's a good one.
That's for my husband.
My mother thinks she's a lesbian too, and then Spencer Tracy was gay, and that's why he never got a divorce. It had nothing to do with being Catholic. My mother's and Donna Mills.
Why is your mom obsessed with gay
She's
people?
obsessed with
everyone's
people
a
that are
lesbian.
secretly gay. She's obsessed.
What show is Donna Mills?
Donna Mills was on Knots Landing, and she never had a boyfriend.
The blonde one,
And
right?
my mother said that the reason she thinks that she's a lesbian is because when they made the movie Play Misty for Me, she came out to Hollywood and she was roommates with Jessica Walter, the woman who plays the mother on Arrested Development. And as far as my mother's concerned, she's also a lesbian.
Who was just on Difficult People.
Is your
Was she
mom-
just on?
Yes.
Can they please do a remake of Knots Landing or Dallas?
Oh, I've been saying oh my God, they
Dynasty
rebooted
X.
Dallas,
I know, on
but Larry
CW.
Hagman died and it didn't work. But
Anybody remember the Colbys?
oh my
Yes.
God, wait till you see the Dynasty reboot. Oh my God, it looks so
It's on
good.
the
I don't know if
CW.
I trust it.
The
No,
posters-
I'm already on
the
board.
Posters, no, the
Really?
posters are up in LA. There are 3 people emblazoned across these posters.
Grant Snow.
On the left, there's a girl, I would say, not a girl, with like not very blonde hair, but still it's blonde. She's looking over her shoulder, and this is literally her face.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a really handsome looking man in the back, like in the middle, who looks like he could be a Bond, really. And then there's some like a brunette over here, and she's like doing this with her tongue, like.
Yep.
Oh yeah, she's
And
got-
it's so weird, and I'm like, that is not Joan Collins.
Well,
that
Joan
is
Collins,
not
they haven't,
Linda
they
Evans,
haven't chosen
I
a Joan
can't-
Collins yet.
Oh.
And Sammy Joe, I heard, is a boy now.
Yeah, Sammy Joe's a boy, and it turns out I saw the trailer. It looked great. The reboot of Dallas was great too, but then Larry Hagman died.
Characters, they were so good.
Did you see that one of
Donna
the
Mills
characters
looks the
from
same. They could-
Dynasty came out
Really?
this
That's
week?
because she's a lesbian.
The guy who played Adam.
She looks very
Wood.
good.
Knots Landing,
good.
Falcon Crest,
Yeah.
Colby's,
Yeah.
Dynasty, Dallas.
Yeah,
like
they
it's-
they
Wait for it.
yeah,
So
they
good.
probably never reboot Falcon Crest. Knots Landing, they have the people that they're all still there, but they would have to be the grandparents somehow.
Right.
But what they as a fan,
Well, I mean,
sitting
look
there,
at Riverdale.
But
They have like
Dynasty
Luke Perry.
is-
have the children,
Jordan
have all their
Johnson.
kids
Matt
that.
Did you hear Adam Carrington came out as gay this week?
Oh, just recently, but you
yeah, I
know.
heard that.
Yeah.
Everyone, we all knew Adam. We all knew he was gay from day one. He
You were
used to have
hoping.
sex in the club out like it was the 1980s, and he was just having sex right out in the club in the West Hollywood, all drunk. They'd have to have him removed. So it's not something we didn't know.
I'm young, but
It was
I know.
it was the best
I
kept
was
secret
born in
since
the 90s.
Jodie Foster's lesbianism. Which my mother, when she found out Jodie Foster really was a lesbian,
I told
you know,
you so.
Of course, I knew it.
Can I
I
ask
knew
you
it.
a personal question? Because
Sure.
you've been doing such a great job asking yourself
okay,
questions.
am I a lesbian?
Has your mother, talking about lesbians your whole life, inspired you to dress as a woman to get her attention because then you would be
Ouch.
a gay woman?
No, wow. Well, no, I think what it is, it has a lot to do with, and it's really bizarre why I got in drag because I swear to God,
You
that's
said
not.
someone put you in drag.
Well, yeah, I got thrown in drag. I threw on a Halloween costume, and they came up to me afterwards and said, "If you come back next week and do what you're doing, we'll give you $200." And I was like, "Go wait tables or jump on a speaker and throw
Sign me up.
pizza."
Your success is everything because of that, because you're genuine, because you are original.
That's right.
If you weren't, you wouldn't be here today.
That's right.
Oh,
As
hold
Shelley.
on. Did you just call me a fat ass? The waiter just called me a fat ass. You can be easily replaced, buddy.
Like,
I mean, it's pretty in French. I'm sorry, it might be the tequila talking. If you guys want your sandwiches wrapped, can you wrap up their sandwiches, Juan Carlos, so that you can bring it home too?
We're donating those to the homeless.
Well, actually, you guys hungry? All right, whatever, John. We'll eat them at the house.
You want to call them homeless?
Wait, we
that's
can't
fine.
talk
So-
about it. Is there another floor?
Now, as we wrap up, guys, let's leave on a thought. If everybody has a little thought they want to give around Juan, a little thought.
I felt like a Philly cheesesteak.
His mouth is complete. How about Herb? You do the first closing thought.
Just be yourself. Be original.
Yes,
You're the best example of that, and I think that certainly the rest of us around that table, just be true to yourself. And sometimes that's hard, but do it.
Sometimes. Michelle?
Fun dancing.
Juan dancing, I like that. I like that a lot. Juan Barquin?
Do things you don't think you'll like because you might end up loving it, and that's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I've done.
It's good. I like that. I like that. That's like when I slept with the woman in the early 80s. I was dating this girl, and she used to have these posters of the Outsiders over.
You became a lesbian.
She became a
So you would stare at Ralph Macchio?
I would stare at the Outsiders, Emilio
Outsiders?
Estefan and all
I
that.
love that movie.
And I
It
would
was
make
It was the young one.
Ralph Macchio.
That's
No,
Macho.
it was the other.
Stay-
C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah.
Stay
Pony
gold,
Boy.
Pony Boy.
So
Stay
I'm
gold, Pony
looking at the
Boy.
poster of Pony Boy and I'm banging her and it was the best 30 seconds of her life. And I said to her, I said, listen, I should probably go sleep in your brother's room so your mother doesn't get mad. And she's like, you really do love me. So that's that. That was my romance. That's when I realized I cannot lie to women anymore. This is
Stay
wrong.
golden.
I have to stay golden, Pony
Shelley
Boy.
Novak.
What is
Was
your?
that the epiphany?
That's when I. I knew I was gay from like.
But did that confirm it?
That
for you?
confirmed it. I can't
was the
lie to
trial.
people. I can't lie to people.
Howell and the Outsiders poster.
Yep, and telling people you can't tell someone you love them just to get a stereo or a Trans Am.
Can't you?
You can't. I mean, I don't know.
Because they don't make stereos and Trans Am.
Wait, did you just say because they don't make stereos
And Trans Ams.
Maybe you
Maybe
can't
they
tell,
should.
you can't tell someone you love them to make sure there's an 8-track player in your Fiero.
No.
So what about you? What's your close?
Well,
Your takeaway.
Am I takeaway of this?
Other than a Philly breakfast sandwich.
You know what, kids at home and other people? My takeaway from this is there's a lot of people at this table that are old friends of mine, and we've adored each other, and we met because we were doing something that we loved. Maybe we didn't intend on becoming the lighting person, the drag queen, and the queen of everything. So that's what she is. But our lives took us there because we weren't afraid to take a step forward. And that's how we know each other and we love each other. It's nice to meet these new people, and I know that they probably have the same thing, the Flamingo Awards and lack of social life, but love is love.
I mean, yeah, that's
so
what being a
about-
programmer
Don't
is
be
all about.
afraid to be yourself like everybody else does.
Absolutely.
basically.
And I have to thank.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy to be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. It's
It's actually
hard.
Not that
super-
easy.
it's so
It's
much
hard not to
easier-
be. I know.
Hard to
It's
be
so
an
much
asshole.
easier to be a nice person than it is to be a douchebag. If you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm gonna fuck someone over today,
Takes a lot of work.
that is what puts wrinkles on your face. To bring it back to my face and the lack of wrinkles as
Yeah.
a 42-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Be a decent
When
person.
I wake up in the
to
morning,
avoid
I
still don't see a
I do
wrinkle.
nice things for people, and when I'm sad, I do nice things for people, and that cheers me up. So if you're gonna be an asshole, you're gonna be old, and nobody will like you. If you're gonna be a nice person, you're gonna stay young forever.
People
I like
like
that.
feels
There you
so
go. I'll drink to
educated.
that.
Yeah.
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
That's right.
Guys, this I feel it has been a successful first Shelley Novak Show, Dinner for Five. I want to
And
thank
thank you, White Boy.
Philly Grub
Philly
for
Grub.
doing the food.
Grub.
I want to thank Juan Carlos, our
Juan
waiter. He's
Carlos.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Allegra
Refilling
Riggio,
our glasses.
Juan Barkin, Michelle Lesham, Herb Sosa. We here at Midtown Miami Magazine, our pop-up gallery, right? Am I saying it right? I hope I
Nailed it
am.
this
I
time.
nailed it! Nailed it! I'd like a proper cup of coffee and a proper
Yes, I was
coffee.
just gonna
A proper cup of coffee and a proper coffee pot. I am
Okay.
Shelley Novak, and I've had a great time. Thank you so much, guys, for being here and being part of the first one. We're going to do it again. And thank you guys, Midtown Miami Magazine. We're going to do it again. Damaco Barea. I hope I say his name right. Barara? You say Barea, and I say Barara. Barara, Damaco, Barea. Hey! Thank you guys, and we'll see you again October 24th for the next edition of this.
The
And,
Halloween edition.
yeah, definitely. And arugula. Orgullo.
Orgullo.
Flaming Classics at the Cosford Cinema.
I Married a Witch.
I Married a Witch. I'm going to be hosting that one. Allegra, every red carpet. And Michelle. She's flipping, she's flopping, she's telling people don't paint my table. Here she is.
Wait a minute. You
Okay.
forgot about the rape.
Oh, I didn't mention, no, I told you I wasn't going to mention rape, John.
All right.
Oh, he wants to be so
Meanwhile,
controversial.
closer.
Oh, he's so good.
The closer with
He did that on
Paris
purpose. Thanks a lot, John.
Is that supposed to be a direct message to Betsy DeVos to not be an asshole?
Oh my God, no,
business?
guys! I was trying to steer away from all because I don't know the first thing about politics.
That's not politics.
I just don't want any children or animals hurt. You know, my safe word is Oklahoma, just like the musical.
Gosh, I haven't had a safe word in a while.
That's a good
Yeah,
choice.
well, okay, try choke me until I'll say Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Oh, thank you guys. Good night. We'll see you October 24th on the next one. Thank you, Midtown Miami Magazine. Cheers, dinner for
Philly
5.
Grub.
Philly Grub. Oh, thank you guys.